Coming in, we knew the type of environment this place can have. The fans get into it, the Skol chant, but one of the guys says, hey, let's send some fans home early.
Parsons has him, and it's a strip sack. Pollard streaks in.
This is getting ugly for Minnesota.
68 to Tony Pollard, touchdown C. The Dallas Cowboys annihilated the Vikings 40-3.
In the words of the playmaker, Dak Prescott dominated, annihilated, and crushed the Vikings Sunday night, putting up 40 points on the offensive side and holding Kirk Cousins and Dalvin Cook to just 3 points defensively. Keyshawn, tell me this. Are the Vikings as good as their record?
I think they were never going undefeated. They are what they are in terms of their record. I think they're a good football team. They're a playoff team. I think if they get into the playoffs, they could potentially make some noise. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but when you look at it, they got annihilated by the Dallas Cowboys. There's no question about it. But they're not going to lose games this year, the rest of the games 40-3. It's just not going to happen. They're a good football team. They're going to be fighting along the way to get that first round bye, just like everybody else. And look, they're going to win the division. And that's what they are. They're the type of team that can make some noise if they get in the playoff. Good receivers, good running back, solid offensive line, excellent tight end. The defense is good. The secondary is solid. I don't see what the problem is, why this would even be a question.
I do.
Why?
Go ahead.
I do. I do.
But why?
Excuse me for interjecting, Mina. See, stay with it. Stay with the question, Key. Here's
Man,
the
I
deal.
stay with it.
Now, I'm gonna tell you what you do. I'm gonna tell you what you do because you project. You project and you project enthusiastically. I mean, listen, man, you got that mean mug on you all the time, but I'm your boy. That's why you always smiling when you mean, because I'm your brother. You know what I'm saying? That meanness don't work with me. But it also don't work with a lot of people because you're really a nice guy. You just try to hide it, okay? The fact of the matter is you are very positive. You're enthusiastic. And dare I say, when it comes to dissecting these teams, you might dissect them accurately, but when it comes time for prediction, you get soft because you hopeful. You hopeful. You spring eternal and stuff like that. This is Kirk Cousins, man. It's Kirk Cousins. You know what he's talking about.
They didn't lose because of Kirk Cousins.
Listen, here's the deal. Minnesota is a damn good team. I want you to know, I want to say something to the Vikings on national television. Y'all got y'all ass kicked. Very, very bad. It was very embarrassing. You disappointed the football world because all we expected was a game. I mean, damn, you couldn't give us a game. We understand if you lose. You couldn't even give us a game on your home turf. That's just embarrassing. It really was. But I'll say this real quick, Mina. The two games the Vikings lost, Justin Jefferson was neutralized. And I'm saying to you that come playoff time, when what they've shown, Ryan Clark alluded to this Monday, key on Jefferson, make Kirk Cousins to make him connect with someone else, whether it's Thielen, whether it's Hockenson or somebody, make him connect with somebody else, and you got him. That's what we've learned from Kirk Cousins. Come playoff time, this is exactly what y'all gonna see, and that's why I'm not sold on Minnesota.
Stephen, I feel like someone came on this show last week and tried to tell you guys the Vikings weren't as good as their record, and she might have gotten a lot of pushback. I don't know if I'm remembering this perfectly. Perhaps you might remember how it went. I feel like somebody said this, and maybe it was me. It was definitely me, because I tried to tell you guys. They are not 8-2. That's the question. Are they as good as their record? I mean, first of all, they're the first team in NFL history to be 8-2 with a negative point differential. So on that alone, you can tell that they're not of the caliber of your typical 8-2 team. Now, that's not to say they're not a good team. I think when you have the best wide receiver in football, one of them, one of the best left tackles in football, in Za'Darius Smith, you have a foundation there. But Keyshawn, this is not a good defense. You saw that on display against Dallas. And Kirk Cousins is not playing consistently at a high level this year. They're a good team. They're not a great team. It's the reason why they weren't Stephen A's A-list. They're not going to be there, in my opinion. And it's okay to be a good team because there's a lot of parity in the NFL right now. People can win any given Sunday, but we should recognize them for who they are, which is not an 8-2 team.
That's what their records say. Their records say they're 8-2. That's what they are. Teams in the National Football League in 17 weeks, Mina, teams in the National Football League in 17 weeks are not going to win every game the way we want them to. And they're not going to lose every game the way we think they're going to lose. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys 40-3. They're not going out there next week and losing somebody 40-3. We didn't think they were going to steal one from the Buffalo Bills, but we also didn't think the Kansas City Chiefs would go into Indiana.
They shouldn't have won the game against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, but
if Josh Allen knew how to
look
snap
at
the
the
damn
underlying
ball.
qualities
I mean,
of
if
the
they
team and try to evaluate them
lost,
separate from their
all they had to
record.
do was take a knee. And take a knee, and the game is over. And they couldn't move the ball a half yard. And they couldn't do that.
Guess
That's the
what?
reason Minnesota won that Buffalo game.
It didn't happen, okay? All Ray Allen had to do was miss a three-pointer, and LeBron won the championship. But guess what? It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I feel
he
like
hit the three.
So
He
often
hit
our
the three,
discussions come
Stephen
down
A.
to this. You are what your record says you are when it comes time to seed for the playoffs, for sure. But we can look at a team and say, well, this team that maybe has 6 wins is better than this team with 8 wins. Fundamentally, like we can look at the underlying qualities of the team, the quarterback, whatnot, and try to evaluate them based on their own merits. I mean, that's why we're here. If it was just the records, there would be no debate. We would just put up the standings every week and go about our business.
We can look at the records, but we also can forecast what they could potentially be down the line as they continue to correct the mistakes. We say Jefferson disappeared in 2 games that they lost because they neutralized him and took him out and made Kirk Cousins do something that he hadn't been able to do. Don't we think that the coaches are going to go back to the drawing board and say to themselves, okay, this is what's happening to us. When this happens, we struggle. Let's do it differently this time around? Because I honestly think that will be the case.
Well, they're going to play well because look at their schedule. It's easy.
I can't talk to you and Stephen A. Now this is schedule. You've been around him too long, Mina. He's rubbing off on you. He's rubbing off on you.
Let me ask you
Now
this.
you're pointing off on you.
I should be rubbing off on you.
Do you think Kirk Cousins is playing good football right now, Key? Do you think Kirk Cousins is playing like one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL?
Get on him, Mina. Get on him. Get him.
I'm just asking. It's a simple question.
I can't answer that. I plead the fifth. I can't answer that.
I plead the fifth.
Answer. I can't answer
the fifth. Listen, first of all, that needs to be in our plays and our moments of the week.
We
need to include that best of the week. Keyshawn Johnson saying, I plead the fifth. You got to be kidding me.
Because if I say he's playing good football, well, here's the da-da-da-da-da. And if I say he's not playing.
Well, I will say this.
But he's doing enough for them to be 8-2.
I just wanted to know.
But he's doing enough to be 8-2.
Why you being defensive? We just asked a question. All you had to do was answer it. I will say this, though. It's the first time ever. It's the first time ever I thought to compare you to Mark McGuire. I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm not here to talk about the past.
But I look at it and I say,
didn't even know how to plead the fifth.
But see, I looked at it a week ago, Stephen A.
Yeah, outside of that beatdown by the Cowboys, how did you think he was playing?
Outside of that beatdown.
Yeah, we're looking at that 1 week.
40-3 on your home court.
I thought he was playing okay and solid. I did.
Yeah.
Outside the beatdown,
he was.
I thought he was solid.
Until the press him out there.
That's fine.
Until he was put in the spotlight and said, all right, Kirk Cousins, show us what you got. We believe in you. We believe in you, Kurt. We believe in you, Kurt.
Wait,
and then after that, you saw what happened.
Let me ask you something, Stephen, because I know you watched the game, so I'm not even going to say, did you watch the game? Because I already know you and Mina watched the game.
That's right.
And even if you didn't, you went back and watched film.
That's right. That's
6 sacks. That's not on him. The offensive line was getting killed up front. That's not on him.
40-3.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
saying
how can I blame him?
I'm not saying to blame him, but 40-3 is 40-3, my brother. I mean, damn, blame Dalvin Cook, too. Blame Justin Jefferson, too. Blame Thielen and Hawkinson, too. Blame O'Connell, or blame everybody. Blame the cheerleaders.
Look,
blame everybody.
He is low-hanging fruit. There's no question about it. He's low-hanging fruit. He really is. He's just like Jimmy G at times.
We're not even arguing that he's a bad quarterback. The question was, are they an 8-2 team? Do they have the qualities of an 8-2 team? If you're an 8-2 team, it would stand to reason you're one of the best teams in football. That's why we're asking questions about, like, do you really think the quarterback is up there? Do you really think this is a top-tier defense? Because we're not asking if the Vikings are good. I think we all agree they're a good football team. The question was, are they 8-2 good? And that's why Stephen A. and I take issue with it, because they're just not.
I think they're 8-2 good. I really honestly do. I think they're 8-2 good football team.
8-2 team doesn't get spanked like that.
Today.
Yeah, he's giving up a lot of love.
Come on now. I didn't watch.
I've never seen Keyshawn get that kind of love.
I didn't watch Peyton Manning 13 game-win teams get beat down against the Jets 41-0, Mina.
Yeah.
With Peyton Manning at quarterback.
You know what it is? You know what it is, Mina? If Keyshawn was here in New York, it would be harsher.
Yeah, he'd be
Is that
killing
he in
people.
that sunshine in Cali? That's what that's about, okay?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
you're
think-
right. He's a softie.
Yeah, you
Oh,
are.
oh,
You are.
That's okay. That's all right, Mina. All
He's a
right.
sweetie.
All right.
He's just a big
Mr.
sweetie.
Softy.
I'm going
Yeah.
to lunch today.
Oh, let me guess. Nobu?
No, it will be sushi, but it won't be Nobu.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Drive's too long for him. Drive's too long.
Yeah,
for him.
he can't-
He don't
he
want to
can't
drive
go
that
all the
far.
way up there,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? He want quick, get back home. That's what he.
Oh, my God. The Vikings are 13th in point per game and 19th